Modern Victory Gardener here. Um, Going over plans, and I figured I would make a quick little video about saving money on your investment. Um, Bushes, your berry bushes, your trees, those are investments. And I'm not a financial planner, advisor, any sort of thing like that. But right now, I say those are high value investments you can make to your property and to yourself, because feeding yourself is a basic necessity, and it's a good to put your money there because your tree's always going to be in that tree. Your money's, you know what I'm trying to say. Um, but how you can save money in these investments, because some of these local garden centers, the potted plants, you go to the um, your local nurseries, the fancy nurseries. The plants are gorgeous, but I've seen trees go for as much as like $100 a tree. Now they're gorgeous specimens, and if you have big pockets, then by all means, have at it. But um, some tips that I found. Um, our local Home Depot just got in their basic fruit trees, and they're $40 this year for just your simple apple and those sort of things. One thing you can look into is local um, garden centers. If any of them order bare root trees, you're going to have a savings usually there. So you might have to call around, search the internet. Um, I found a nursery near me that does some bare roots, but they're a good 45-minute drive. So if you're just doing one or two plants, you have to factor in the gas, whether it's really worth it. Um, but I usually get a little order if I'm going to be driving out there, and we usually make a day of it because it's out by the lake. But just for example, I've highlighted this Red Delicious. It's a pretty common type of apple tree you can find at your garden centers, but $40 at Home Depot. But here, the bare root, 33. So right there's a $7 savings. Another way to save, um, their blueberries. Usually they do a bulk order. So if you're going to be doing multiple things, sometimes they do additional discounts. These are 3-year-old plants. Now, sometimes when you buy the stuff from Lowe's and stuff, the little blueberry plants you can buy already in a pot, they're only, 8 inches tall or something like that. Something that's well established, like 3 years old, like these blueberries, that's going to cost you $40 at the garden center, where here, $10. So it pays to shop around. Another good deal through them is like blackberries and raspberries. Um, Blackberries here, for example, you get 5 per bundle for $20. Now that sounds like pretty steep, but if you divide that by that 5 plants, that's $4 a plant, where the same plant, again, at Home Depot or Lowe's or one of those places, is going to be $10 and up. Another thing to look at is if you have a Tractor Supply, I highly recommend, if you're doing bare root trees, seek it out now. They have a wide variety. $14.99. So that same Red Delicious apple. Now, these are going to be smaller, younger trees, usually like a year or so old. But if you put them in the ground, these bare roots, you're going to get growth faster than you're going to get a potted tree, especially if you plant them now when they're dormant. Within a year or two, it's going to be well worth it. The other thing to look for in the garden centers is, and these are from last year, but usually on big wooden shippers, somewhere in the garden center, there'll be little plants in little square pots, and if you dig through, sometimes you can find some really cool varieties that you can't normally find. Like last year I found honeyberries. But a lot of times you can find currants, plants you can't normally find, and they're usually a good deal in those little pots. They're usually about $10 or less. Also, usually with the spring bulbs, they have little packages of roots and things. It's going to be a lot cheaper. Like for me, I wanted to put in some rhubarb, and last year, and I checked, the prices are the same. I believe I found that at Tractor Supply, but $4.99 for 2 roots, and I put them in, and they took off. I'm hoping they come back up this year, but an established plant at a local nursery was $30 a plant. So, $5 for 2, that's $2.50 a plant versus $30 for 1. So you just shop around. You can find some deals, but now's the time to look for the bare root trees and bushes, to get those savings and get them in the ground as soon as you can for best success. I hope this gives you some ideas, and hope to get out in the garden soon. Still cold here, not quite spring temperature wise, but keep on gardening and have a great day.